My wife waited for the loudest moment of my career to put an end to something she thought she controlled. I didn't react, didn't defend myself, just whispered 6 words and signed. Nothing happened that night. Nothing the next week. Then one email from that room changed how she remembered that evening forever. I'm 38, been married for 11 years. My wife and I met in our mid-20s through mutual friends. She worked in marketing, I was building my career in software development. We had what most people would call a solid marriage. Stable, comfortable, predictable. 2 kids, a nice house in the suburbs, the usual routine. The night everything changed was 3 months ago. I'd been working on the biggest project of my career for 18 months, a complete overhaul of our company's core platform. The launch party was massive. Over 200 people packed into this downtown venue. Clients, investors, executives from partner companies. My boss had already told me privately that if this went well, I was looking at a senior leadership position in a significant race. I'd invited my wife, obviously. She'd seemed excited about it initially, bought a new dress, got her hair done. But the week leading up to the event, she'd been distant. Short responses, staying up late on her phone, that kind of thing. I figured she was stressed about something at work. The party was going perfectly. Speeches, champagne, people congratulating me. Around 9 p.m., the CEO called me up to say a few words. I was mid-sentence, talking about the team's dedication, when I saw my wife threading through the crowd toward me. She looked determined. Not happy determined. Angry determined. She reached the stage area just as I finished speaking. Applause filled the room. I stepped down, smiling, expecting her to congratulate me. Instead, she grabbed my arm and pulled me toward a quieter corner near the back. Several colleagues noticed. I saw confusion on their faces. We need to talk. Now. Can it wait? This is kind of important. No. It can't wait. I'm done. Done with what? Done with this marriage. Done with you. Done with pretending I'm happy when I haven't been for years. The room was still loud with celebration, but I felt like all the air had been sucked out of my lungs. What are you talking about? I want a divorce. I've already talked to a lawyer. I'm moving out next week. You'll get the papers soon. You're doing this here? Right now. I'm doing this when I'm ready. And I'm ready now. I've been seeing someone else for 6 months. He makes me happy in ways you never did. So yes, I'm doing this here, because I'm tired of waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. People were starting to notice. My boss glanced over. A few colleagues had stopped talking to watch us. Please. Can we discuss this at home? Tomorrow? There's nothing to discuss. I've made my decision. You can either make this easy or make it hard, but it's happening either way. I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman I'd spent 11 years with. The mother of my children. And I saw a stranger. Someone who'd carefully chosen the most public, most humiliating moment of my professional life to detonate our marriage. I whispered 6 words. Then let's make it easy. She blinked. What? I'll sign whatever you want. Tonight if you have papers ready. You're not going to fight? For someone who wants out? No. If you're done, you're done. I won't force you to stay. She looked almost disappointed. Like she'd wanted a fight. Wanted drama. Fine. My lawyer will contact yours. I don't have a lawyer yet. Give me the contact info. I'll handle it tomorrow. She pulled out her phone, texted me the information. Then she turned and walked out. Just like that. Left the party. Left me standing there. Left 11 years of marriage in ruins on the floor of my biggest professional achievement. I went back to the party. Smiled through the rest of the evening. Accepted congratulations. Made small talk. Pretended my world hadn't just imploded. When people asked where my wife went, I said she wasn't feeling well and had gone home. I got home around midnight. She wasn't there. Neither were the kids. I later found out she'd dropped them at her mother's that afternoon. I sat in our living room in the dark for hours, replaying the conversation, trying to understand what I'd missed. The next morning, I called the lawyer she'd recommended. Set up an appointment for that afternoon. My boss called around 10, asked if everything was okay after last night. I told him my wife had announced she wanted a divorce in the middle of the party. There was a long silence. I'm sorry. That's incredibly inappropriate timing. Yeah. But it is what it is. Take some time off if you need it. Family matters first. I appreciate that. But I'd rather work. Keeps my mind occupied. Understood. But the offer stands. I met with the lawyer at 3. He was professional, efficient. Asked the right questions. I explained the situation. She wanted out. Was seeing someone else. Wanted to move quickly. He took notes. What are you hoping for in terms of custody? Joint. 50-50 if possible. I don't want to take the kids from their mother. But I want to be an equal parent. And assets. Fair division. I'm not trying to punish her. I just want what's equitable. That's refreshingly reasonable. Most people in your position want blood. I'm angry. But I'm not going to let anger make me stupid. My kids still need both of us. Even if we're not together. All right. I'll reach out to her counsel and start the process. I went home. The house felt empty. My wife had taken more of her things. Left a note saying she'd come back for the rest next week when I was at work. The kids would stay with her mother until we figured out living arrangements. I called her mother. She'd always liked me. Or at least I thought she had. I heard what happened. I'm sorry. Me too. Can I talk to the kids? Of course. My daughter got on the phone first. She was 8. Dad. Mom said you two are having problems. We are, sweetie. But it has nothing to do with you or your brother. We both love you very much. Are you getting divorced? Kids are smarter than we give them credit for. Yes. We are. But that doesn't change how much we love you. You'll still see both of us all the time. Will we have to move? I don't know yet. But wherever you live, it'll be home, and I'll always be there for you. She started crying. I talked her through it as best I could. Then my son got on. He was 6. Didn't fully understand what was happening. Just knew his mom was upset, and that was scary. I reassured him too. After I hung up, I sat on the couch and let myself feel everything I'd been holding back. The humiliation. The anger. The grief. The betrayal. Not just that she'd cheated, but that she'd chosen that moment, that venue, that audience to end things. Update 2. A week later, I got the initial divorce proposal from her lawyer. It was aggressive. She wanted the house, primary custody with me getting standard visitation, and a disproportionate share of our savings and retirement accounts. The justification was that she'd sacrificed her career advancement to support the family, while I'd been prioritizing work over family. My lawyer called me. This is overreach. We can push back on all of it. Do it. But keep it professional. I don't want a war. I want fair. The negotiations dragged on for 2 weeks. During that time, my wife moved into an apartment across town. The kids stayed there on weekdays, came to me on weekends. She barely communicated with me except through lawyers. Then something interesting happened. One of my colleagues from the launch party reached out. She worked in HR and had been standing near us during the confrontation. I wanted to give you a heads up. Your wife approached several people from the company that night. After she left the party. Approached them how? She was trying to get them to corroborate that you'd been neglectful. That you'd been having an affair. That you'd been stealing company resources. She was making accusations. My blood went cold. What did people say? Nothing. Everyone shut her down. Most people didn't even respond. A few told her she was out of line. But she was definitely trying to build some kind of case against you. Why are you telling me this? Because it's not right. And because you should know she's not just trying to leave. She's trying to destroy you on the way out. I thanked her and immediately called my lawyer. Told him what I'd learned. He made notes and said it was good information to if she's making false accusations, especially ones that could damage your reputation or career. We can address that in the proceedings. It shows bad faith. 2 days later, I got an email. It was from someone I didn't know. Someone who'd been at the party. The subject line was, "You deserve to know this." I opened it. My hands were shaking by the time I finished reading. Update 3. The email was detailed. Methodical. The sender had worked with my wife at her previous company 3 years ago. They'd seen her at the launch party, recognized her, and after witnessing the confrontation, felt compelled to reach out. According to this person, my wife had been fired from the job for falsifying expense reports and trying to frame a colleague for the theft. The colleague had been able to prove their innocence. But it had been a whole mess. My wife had left quietly under threat of legal action if she ever made accusations against the or its employees. I'd known she'd left that job. She'd told me she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. I'd believed her. Had supported her through it. Had picked up extra freelance work to cover the gap in income while she found something new. The email included documentation. Screenshots of internal emails. Copies of the investigation findings. Evidence that my wife had a history of exactly what she was trying to do to me now. Fabricating problems to make herself look like the victim. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. He called me within an hour. This changes things. Significantly. If she's attempted this pattern before, it establishes bad faith and potentially fraudulent behavior. We can use this. I don't want to use it to destroy her. I want to use it to protect myself. Understood. But we need to present this to her counsel. Make it clear we know what she's trying to do and it won't work. My lawyer drafted a formal letter to her lawyer. Outlined the evidence we had of her false accusations at the party. Referenced the previous incident without going into detail but making it clear we had documentation. Stated that any further attempts to defame me would result in legal consequences beyond the divorce proceedings. Her lawyer responded within 24 hours. Suddenly, my wife was willing to be more reasonable. The custody demands shifted to true 50-50. The financial split became more equitable. The aggressive posturing disappeared. But I wasn't done. Update 4. I sent my own email. Not to her lawyer. To her. It was short. I know what you tried to do. I know about the party. I know about your previous job. I have documentation of all of it. I'm not going to use it to hurt you because of our kids. But know that I know. And know that it didn't work. She called me. First direct call in 3 weeks. You're threatening me. I'm informing you. There's a difference. You had no right to dig into my past. I didn't dig. Someone who was there volunteered the information. Someone who saw what you were trying to do and wanted to warn me. This is blackmail. No. Blackmail would be demanding something in exchange for keeping quiet. I'm not demanding anything. I'm just letting you know that the game you were playing is over. Sign the fair agreement. Co-parent our kids. Move on with your life. That's all I want. I could tell people what you did. What did I do? Work hard. Support our family. Not notice that my wife was cheating on me and planning to blow up our marriage. Sure. Tell people that. I'm not hiding anything. She was quiet for a long moment. Why aren't you fighting dirtier? You have ammunition. Why aren't you using it? Because our kids will grow up and ask questions. I want to be able to tell them honestly that I tried to handle this with dignity. That I didn't drag their mother through the mud even when I could have. That I prioritized their well-being over my anger. That's very noble. It's not noble. It's practical. I'm not interested in revenge. I'm interested in moving forward. Another silence. Then, the person you're seeing. Do they know about all this? There is no person I'm seeing. I haven't even looked at anyone else. I've been focused on our kids and processing the end of our marriage. But I thought. You thought I was having an affair because you were having an affair. That's called projection. She hung up. But 2 days later, the divorce agreement came through. Fair split. Joint custody. Reasonable child support. No more accusations. No more games. I signed it. So did she. The divorce was finalized 6 weeks later. Final update. It's been 3 months since the divorce was finalized. The kids are adjusting. They split time between our houses. My daughter asks hard questions sometimes. My son mostly just wants consistency and to know we both still love him. My wife's relationship with the other guy ended about a month after the divorce. According to mutual friends, he wasn't interested in someone with 2 kids and an ex-husband. She's now apparently seeing someone else. I genuinely don't care. The promotion I was expecting came through. My career is thriving. I bought a smaller house closer to the kids' school. We've established routines. Monday through Wednesday with her. Wednesday through Friday with me. Alternating weekends. It works. The colleague who warned me about my wife's accusations became a good friend. We got coffee a few times. Talked about the situation. About work. About life. She's smart. Funny. Has no interest in dating me because she just got out of a long-term relationship herself and is focused on her own healing. Which is perfect. I'm not ready for anything anyway. I think a lot about that night. The launch party. The public humiliation. The way my wife weaponized the biggest moment of my career to hurt me. I used to feel angry about it. Now I mostly feel relieved. Because she showed me exactly who she was. Someone willing to cause maximum damage to prove a point. Someone who would try to destroy my reputation to make herself look better. Someone who saw our marriage as something she controlled. Something she could end on her terms in the most dramatic way possible. The 6 words I whispered, "Then let's make it easy," were the best decision I made that night. Because fighting her would have been giving her what she wanted. Drama. Attention. Control. By agreeing immediately, I took all of that away. And the email that changed everything? It wasn't from me. It was from someone who'd been in that room. Who'd seen what she tried to do. Who'd recognized the pattern and wanted to warn me. That email saved me from months or years of false accusations and legal warfare. My wife thought she controlled the narrative. Thought she could blow up our marriage on her terms, make me look bad, and walk away clean. Instead, she got a quiet, fair divorce from someone who refused to play her game. The kids asked me recently why I don't seem angry at their mom. I told them anger is a choice, and I'm choosing to focus on building a good life instead of dwelling on what went wrong. They seemed satisfied with that. Sometimes my daughter mentions how her mom talks about me. Apparently, she tells people I gave up on the marriage without a fight. I smile when I hear that. Because from my perspective, I didn't give up. I just recognized when the fight was already lost and chose to lose it on my own terms. That email from that room, the one that documented her pattern, that revealed her strategy, that gave me leverage I chose not to fully use, didn't just change how she remembered that evening. It changed how I remembered it too. Instead of seeing myself as the victim of a cruel public humiliation, I see myself as someone who kept his composure, protected his career, prioritized his kids, and refused to stoop to her level. I'm 38. Divorced. Single dad. Building a new life that looks nothing like what I planned but feels more authentic than what I had. And every time I think about that night, about those 6 words, about the choice to make it easy instead of making it ugly, I'm reminded that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is refuse to fight at all.